without further ado, King and Jasmine.
You're listening to Royal Fetish Radio, where we talk about sex before and after dark. Meaning we'll fuck you in the daytime. Isn't that what that means?
I don't think so.
My name is King Noire. I am a master fetish trainer, adult educator, performer, award-winning dick slinger, cam model, director, producer, and our owner.
Royal Fetish Films.
You know, like, if you're not gay, you're not lesbian, you don't need to worry about who someone else is fucking, right? Let go. Worry about your own shit. You know what I'm saying? Or if somebody is asexual, or if somebody is pansexual, whatever somebody is, really ain't got shit to do with you. Period.
I am Jet Setting Jasmine. I'm also co-owner of Royal Fetish Films, Jet Setting Jasmine LLC, where we do sex education, entertainment, lifestyle events all over the world. I am a licensed clinical therapist, the owner and lead therapist at Blue Pearl Therapy. Also performer, director.
All of that.
Yeah.
Award-winning.
Pornographer. I am also a mother of 4 children. If you're not addressing that some of these medications may have an impact on how someone perform sexually, and that's really a big deal to them. Like maybe they're a sex worker and they have, for their livelihood, they have to be able to perform, or it's just a part of their lifestyle that their sexual performance is really important to them. So taking this medication may cause an upset in that area of their life. If we are having that conversation, then we can look at alternatives.
Sure.
Right? We can look at performance enhancers. We can look at a different style of medication. We can look at taking the medication at a different time. Like there's so many things that get lost because we do not want to have these conversations.
Hey.
Yo, that was really, really dope, y'all.
Who put that together?
So Jeremy did that. Our child did that. So if anybody's interested, reach out to Gem Cuts, because I'm incredibly happy with the work, and it was really dope. Felt like a really dope fit. So
have him throw his logo on that, and please send it our way. We would love to post it and share it and all of that. That was
really good.
I was like, yo, we did that.
Word.
They're just learning and starting it. I was like, no notes. It's good. That's like perfect.
As a fellow editor, to hear someone say no notes is like the biggest A++ gold star you can receive. So I feel that.
Yeah, it came out really well. Thank you so much. You all are too kind. So for people who don't know, y'all producers, entrepreneurs, adult performers, master fetish trainers, on-air personalities, and a whole bunch of other things. So we're going to just jump right in. I had forgotten I had wanted to do just a moment of respect for Palestine, for our Jewish family, for our fam in Haiti, Sudan, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Just, let folks know, obviously we're thinking about all the challenges they're going through. And if you can get involved, if you can learn about their situations and then find ways to support, that would be really dope. But I just want to lead off with that. And I apologize. I know that was like the flow and the segue with that wasn't well, but whatever.
Perfect. You know what? Genocide doesn't fit in anywhere. So it's okay if it's awkward or it feels misplaced, because it is. It's a misplaced situation. So thank you for actually starting us off with what's really important. Now we could talk about the less important things, and we're here for that too.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Jasmine putting on that therapist hat right there.
No, you're jumping. You gotta.
Oh shit!
Introduce Leslie real quick, and then.
Yes. So I want to introduce. Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate that. I want to introduce Leslie Camacho. You can see Leslie on screen. I'm looking at the wrong notes. So Leslie has helped Sherri and I on the business side, from strategy to refiguring out how to merge our personal passions and purpose with what we're doing entrepreneurially, and to figure out how we want to navigate capitalism, running a brand agency, and creating a new passion project, talking about sex and pleasure. I couldn't be thankful enough that Leslie was willing to join. He's going to share insights at like the tail end of the show and wrap everything up, because that's just just one of his like superpowers. He's incredibly good at that. So I wanted to welcome Leslie to our show as well.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much, all. King and Jasmine, so great to meet you.
And I should have introduced ourselves. We're Reuben and Sherri. We run Fly Media Productions and SexTech and Chill. You can hit us up on the event page and find out more information about us. Okay, I think we should jump into the questions since I kind of got us a bit late.
Put Leslie back in the background so he can do his thing.
Thank you so much.
Look at Sherri directing.
I appreciate it.
I'm a good co-host.
Let's get
Let him
camera
take
A.
all the big pressure.
Okay, let me move Leslie out the way, if I can. Now I'm really feeling the.
Click on the little 3 dots. Click on that.
Sherri about to
From
guest
studio.
direct the royal fetish.
I know.
Right?
Scene.
No, because that'll kick him in
And
the
then
wrong
get the
direction.
lube. What you want to do is get low, get really small.
Maybe if you put it on 2 cameras. And
Yeah.
then you just go.
Mhm.
Yep.
2 cameras, I like that.
Mhm. Get them,
Both angles.
get the penetration and the facial reaction.
At the same time.
Yeah, there
We
you
can
go.
do-
Mhm.
How about from up there? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Remove from stage.
Nice
Wait,
work.
I don't think Leslie
That
may
exit
have.
stage, right?
He's still there. He's just not on the stage.
Yeah, but I don't know that he can hear us. I think he may have. Give me 1 second. I know this feels a little bit bootleg.
Leslie, can you hear us?
No,
Yes, he can hear us.
20,
Oh, you can? Okay,
Okay.
word. Okay.
Nerves shooken out.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is the real first scene. This is real first frame. So y'all, you do a lot of things. You grew up, you came into the world, you got together, y'all got a family, you're doing all this dope shit. When you think about like how y'all came up and your upbringing, you mind sharing like how that impacted your individual and then as a partnership in biz and in life, and being married folks, how does that influence what you do like professionally, personally, and your views on sexuality? I feel like I butchered that question.
You're good. You're good.
No, I got it. It was pretty clear. I feel like every single identity of my upbringing, of my background, completely influences positively and negatively our work, the pace of our work, and what we will and won't do, or at least I say what I will and won't do. So I was raised in a Catholic household in the projects of Far Rockaway, New York. So there's my socioeconomic status. As you can see, I was raised as a Black girl. My household was Filipino, so culturally but how the world receives me, that has been different all my life. So I definitely bring that to the art, as well as to how we do business and who we do business with, how we tolerate our business. The hustle definitely comes from that socioeconomic background, including the models that I saw as a project chick. And then I moved to South Florida, so more influences on how Black women were represented, received by society versus in our households, in our bodies. And yeah, so all of that stuff I think it completely paints my religious, spiritual background. Even the birth order, I'm the 4th of an all-girl family. So what it's like being the youngest, what are those little submissives, what are they really asking for? Like all of those aspects of my identity completely influence my work. And I'm really, really thankful to have work that allows me to bring all of those identities and work through even the ones that I'm trying to separate from or I'm trying to unlearn. The space and the work that we do allows for that vulnerability to be in my work and for it to be profitable.
I agree that every moment leads up to the moment you're in. So for me, I'm the only child of an only child of an only child that was separated from other family. So I grew up in a very, like the opposite of Jasmine, where Jasmine has a huge family. I didn't even know most of my family until maybe like 10 years ago. I got introduced to a whole side of my family that I never knew. I was raised by my mother, my grandmother, and for a very brief time, my great grandmother. So I'm the first man in my family that stuck around, you know? So I think that that's also shaped a lot of the work that I do, both in front of and behind the camera, from the art that we do to just my interpersonal relationships and my relationships within my family. It definitely reflects that. I was raised between Teaneck, Jersey City, and Camden, New Jersey, which are three, what most people would think very different, but also very the same in the fact that no matter where you at, you still a Black man in America. And also my mother's family is African American and my father's family is German and Italian American. So also I've been able to see a lot of differences, but also the treatment that we receive as people of color doesn't really change from strangers to family. So that's also reflected my work as well.
Yo, there's a lot there. I appreciate y'all sharing all that. Yeah, there's a lot there that resonates for me. With let me just, I guess I gotta pick a direction. That's, and also keep in line with the questions we're gonna ask, because you just brought up a whole bunch of stuff. When you think about your backgrounds, do you, I got to touch on something that King said. So I got to put the questions to the side for a second. You said being the first man to stick around, and you were talking about being a Black man in America. And when I think of you, I think of all of that, but I also think of like the fact that who you are, and as far as the persona that I see, and I feel like you're a much needed figure in this space. Both of y'all, like as a couple, y'all really speak to us like in a big way. And King, when just hearing some of the things that you say and your presence on screen and like your interviews and all that, it definitely, it hits. It means a lot to me, and I appreciate seeing it. I appreciate seeing you. So I'm very thankful that you're doing what you're doing. Do you all ever deal with any sex negative thoughts because of where you're at and like how much y'all have really learned to own who you are and living in your space and living in your truth?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I think,
say it again for the people in the back.
It doesn't go away. It's not ever going to go away.
that was a closed-ended question. So yes.
Well, I'm gonna open up the end of the question a little bit. No, I think for me, in my neighborhood, well, my neighborhoods, growing up, because I bounced between the three places, you know, like some of the things that I experiment with and experience now, people have we grew up like those are things you don't do, you know. So I get those negative thoughts sometimes just because it was from the church to the street to the masjid, all just in my head. Like, you don't do these things. You especially don't do these things in a public arena for people to then be able to pick apart and point out and all these other kind of things. But for me, I love what we do because it opens up those conversations. It opens up and allows people to say like, is this hurting somebody? No? Okay, well, how do I feel about it? How does it make me feel? Good? Okay, then let's move forward. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's really what it boils down to for me.
So the sex negative all the time, and because that's actually what is being presented to us all the time. Like, we exist because there's more sex negative stuff out there, that our voice of sex positivity is like, you know, it's like people, they need it. That's the oasis. The oasis isn't sex negativity. It's quite the opposite. So to I hope that people feel like, oh, if these two who are so liberated sexually also have sex negative thoughts, I hope that you feel normal. I hope that you feel like a product of the environment. That's all we're supposed, not all we're supposed to be, but of course we are products of the environment, products of the messaging. So I try not to even get down on myself when I have those negative thoughts, and to really just go like, is it really your thought? Is it yours? Or is it sort of like this pre-packaged thing that you get when you're born as a insert all those intersections that we talked about here in this country? I'll share with you one that feels like 12 hours old. So, and this is live. This is a live stream.
Yep. Internet thoughts right now.
That's fine. So it might change in 12 hours because I'm allowed to as a human, right? But one of the things, like, I feel a little bit behind on work right now because as we opened up this session, there's a lot of stuff that's going on that's pretty distracting. It is kind of hard to go like, oh, let's do a small penis humiliation video, and let's also look at the economy and also what my tax dollars are doing to hurt little babies that I would never, you know what I mean? Like, oh, that is the reality. And a part of that is like, okay, I'm a little distracted, I'm a little slow, so I'm not producing capitalism what I think that I should be producing right now. Historically, my brain goes, if you don't produce, you don't earn. And that earning includes pleasure. It includes rest. It includes laughing. Like joy. It includes joy. So there's this programming that I am definitely up under, that joy is attached to my production. And it doesn't say what kind of joy. It doesn't say you really can't go on a 3-week vacation right now. It says like you shouldn't be laughing right now. You need to be producing and working. And so less than 12 hours ago, an opportunity for joy presented itself. And I talked myself out of it with those negative thoughts. I don't deserve it. I haven't earned it. I should be ashamed even for wanting that. I should do work and then maybe you can have that joy. So that's the reality. How do I overcome it? I sit here and tell all y'all about it and then wait for everybody to send me messages like, no, girl, you're worth the joy. Here's $30. Go get you some joy. And no, but really it is sharing with other people, being vulnerable and being open to hearing a different message, which thankfully we're in community that the different message is going to be like, nah, really, like, you're deserving. That's some bullshit. It's okay to be distracted. You should slow down a little bit. And that's how I overcome it, is looking within community and then taking it outside of myself and allowing a different narrative to work for me. Because the one that I've been programmed with, it doesn't work for me. It's full of shame, and it doesn't consider joy.
That's real. When you said the last thing you said, talking about it being full of shame, and then earlier on talking about how looking and realizing that we're more than just workers to create, to add money to the system, and basically our worth being wrapped up in exactly. What do you have any one thing that helped you get to the point of changing like your perspective? I mean, assuming you didn't like come out of the womb with that perspective, both of you, was there any one thing that helped change that for you that other people could potentially explore for themselves to help them like on a journey to not only like acceptance, but also, being okay in themselves and being okay, and there's different ways of doing things. If you want to have a life that looks sex positive, more so in whatever way works for an individual.
I was still on that being a productive member of society part. Well, I will kind of add on to that. I know for me, I have been signed as a MC to a label, and I had a song. It's called Mile High Club, and the song, basically, the chorus is treat her like a queen, fuck her like a porn star. And the label was like, we don't want you to put out that record. But meanwhile, the label itself had put out songs that had rape in it, songs that talked about violence towards women, songs that referred to women as bitches and everything but a child of God. And I was just like, you have a problem with me saying treat her like a queen, fuck her like a porn star, but you don't have any problem with those things. And that was, for me, a moment where I knew sex positivity was powerful, and also a moment where I knew that my productivity as an artist was less about my art and more about just putting out a product. So it was like that intersection was real as a motherfucker, and I was done with that label from that moment on. And it freed me to be able to make the music I want, because also the label itself was not supportive of my adult work. So it also allowed me to truly be like, man, fuck this shit. Like, this porn is about to produce so that I can make music the way I want to make music, say the things I want to say, and do the shit that I want to do, free from, I mean, it's not a 9 to 5, but when you're signed to a label and you have an obligation to put out a certain amount of product, you know what I'm saying? You are bound to that shit. So to me, it's always like, well, what can we do as individuals to free ourselves? And a lot of times we think it's going to be this one moment where we break the chains and rise our hands up, you know what I'm saying, and choke out the overseer and shit. Or at least that's what I always think.
Who's the overseer in your story?
I get where you're coming from. I feel you 100%.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's always like that one moment. But really, even if we just look at the history of our people, it's steps. So, okay, if I complete this task at this time, it'll free me up to do the shit that I really want to do. And hopefully, the more time can be spent on what I really want to do to finally phase that shit out that's sucking the lifeblood and energy out of my soul. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always that one. It comes in incremental steps. So that's how I would say, like, it's always about what can I learn that's going to help me get a little bit more free in my thinking. What can I do that's going to help me free up a little bit more of my time? What can I experience that's going to free up more of my soul? You know, so I think it's all about taking as many steps as possible, and then hopefully, you know, the pie chart is a little bit more on the free side than the locked in side. You know what I mean?
Oh, I love that. When you were saying that, the what can I do, and then you're talking about it takes incremental steps. What was it? Did your business, the way it operates right now? Because I've seen some of the things y'all have said about, like, you know, right off the rip, if a studio creates films that has, you know, XYZ stuff in it that y'all don't agree with and that you feel is negative and toxic, you don't fuck with them. You're not going to work with them. But I also know on the other side of work, revenue, and all that, you got to bring money in the door, and having values you live by doesn't make things easier. It creates complexity. I'm 100% there with you. I think that, like, I want to preface it by saying this is the way I think our world should be more of. But I also know that it's not easy. It's easier said than done. It's not so cut and dry, because it's like you can watch opportunity come and go. Like, how do y'all sustain yourself around that and navigate that? Especially like if you might be going through lean times, or if you might be starting a new venture and the risk ratio might be higher because it's an unproven thing, yada, yada, yada. How do y'all, like, navigate all of that?
Yeah, so sustainability is huge. And I think it's really important, exactly what you're saying. Like, we may not take this job, but best believe we've taken other jobs, right? Okay, like, let's be clear, over the last 12 years, we have done work that we perhaps would not have wanted to do, but we haven't done work that is in conflict with our morals, is in conflict with our values, is in conflict with our family's well-being, is in conflict with our health. And I do think you can find those options. I think that there's a middle ground with things that I absolutely, my hard boundaries, I absolutely will not do this. And I will do a lot of these things to get to a point where, like King said, I can do less of that and more of this. In the beginning, I mean, we used to travel with, how was it, 50-pound
50-pound
massage
table and probably like 50-pound pole.
all across the country for $250, and I hope they buy some toys and want some massages when we get there. So there was a lot of like, neither one of us wanted to go through the airlines and explain why we were traveling with these things and take the cheapest possible plane flight that you could possibly take in a lot. Like, there's a lot of things that we didn't want to do, or do a party in somebody's bathroom, which actually turned out to be quite great. But, like, it didn't seem like a posh or sort of like the level that we were hoping to arrive at.
It was a big ass bathroom though.
Yeah, I know, but it's coming into the context, like, make them think we was like really struggling in this.
It's like, but not, I mean, like, you one game on them.
A lot of small.
I got 2 marks on the screen.
Right, taking a lot of
Sorry, keep
small
going.
jobs to equate, what feels like something that we can now ask for. Like, we did have to put in a lot of the work. Right now, when we're in those lean times, or really honestly through the last couple of years where lean times have presented themselves, we can go back to those earlier days that, hey, remember the work that didn't cross our value set, but we didn't particularly love doing it? You think we might need to pick up doing some of that now? Yeah, we do. And so, and also the other thing too is a business owner is constantly putting out fires and reprioritizing. There have been things that we've like invested so much time and fantasies in and excitement in to realize now is not the time for that. We have to face our own rejection as business owners often. Hey, it's not going to work. Sorry, that idea was great, but it didn't materialize to what we thought it would be. We're going to have to squash it. So it is making hard decisions. But I guess when we've decided that our currency is more than money, I think that has been a very huge sustaining factor. Saying no to that means that, like, I can go to bed and look at you. That's worth a lot. That's going to get us through another year of great ideas and hard work and doing things that maybe we don't want to do, or being creative in ways that we didn't think that we could be. But the currency, we're rich in terms of, I can trust you. I can trust your value set, and damn it, like if this is the last scene that we ever shoot, we could at least sell the book on how we made that decision that this is going to be the last. So building our brand on our honesty, our truth, our integrity, our value set, our transparency, even our sex negative thoughts, all of that shit, like that, we built our brand on that, and that's what sustains us more than any particular product.
Whoa, I love when you say that, because like a lot of times when you hear, like for me at least, and let me speak for myself, you hear that term black excellence all the time. And usually it's because somebody's made X amount of money and they have a lot of status, power, access, and material things to like go with it that says, now I got excellence. I got a lot of issue with that, because I don't really think money alone is going to save us or anybody else, because
it
if that
hasn't
were
so
the truth,
far.
yeah, we'd have been saved a long time ago. And I think that more folks need to understand the value equation that you're talking about, because I think that right there, that's the type of thing that saves community, that saves culture, that saves families, that saves relationships, that saves individuals. How did you get to the point where you were like, did anything drive you in that direction that solidified this is what our values are, this is how we're going to do that, and then this is how we're going to make that intersect with our business?
Your praying grandmother.
I think for me, it's definitely my mother. My mother raised me, and I'll never forget how she said it. She said, it doesn't matter what you do as long as you are doing it for your people.
That's
so
really dope.
she's supported. It's like she helped us come up with the name Royal Fetish. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
Go grandma.
my mother, was a health activist. So she helped build programs in the community around health. So she just has always like hammered into, like, my music was and always is, true to the community, true to self. Like the work that I do, and then when I met Jasmine, it's so funny because we were talking about this the other day. Like you were looking at a paper that you wrote, like what,
20 years ago.
20 years ago, and I could sit back and look at things that I wrote 20 years ago, and they're in alignment with what we wanted to do in our lives for our people, for the community, with our families, and as individuals. And we both grown and then ran into each other like, yo, we rock with each other in a way that even if we weren't together in a relationship, I'll speak for myself. I'll be like, yo, I fuck with her. Yeah. She say what she's gonna do. She go out there and do it. And she's not only stand on business, but she stand on principle. And it speaks to her humanity. It speaks to her as an individual, and it speaks to her as a Black woman in this world that like she say what she about, and she actually lived that shit every day. So I think like it would be strange if we came together in business and we're like, let's sell out.
I love that.
Your mom really bad.
And it's like, you know, like a lot of times we think of selling out, but it's also buying in. Like, are you gonna buy in to that idea of, hey, if we become rich, and not just rich in money, but rich in the currency of our oppressor, by saying like, we're gonna do and say the things that make our oppressor comfortable.
Stephen A. Smith.
And then also, and put our brothers and sisters out there in a dangerous situation, or have them looking foolish for trying to actually do something to not only better our people, but other people who are in the same situation as us. Like I think about right now, how people we're talking bad about like Amanda Seals, but then you look at sis and she out there with the protesters at Columbia University. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't also buy into this idea that it's bad to be Pan-African, because you mentioned a whole bunch of places. You mentioned Palestine, you mentioned Jewish folk, you mentioned Democratic Republic of Congo, and you mentioned the Sudan, and you mentioned Haiti. If you're a Pan-Africanist, all of those things, all of those places, and all of those people matter. You know, I had the privilege of being in Palestine in, my bad, it was 2015, 2016, and actually working with people there and talking about the treatment of Black people in Palestine and Israel, and how seeing how that has manifested into present day lets me know that it's important to stand up, speak out, and show that the genocide that Palestinians are facing isn't just a today thing. It's been going on for decades. The atrocities that are happening in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the atrocities that are happening in Haiti have been going on for hundreds of years. So it's important that no matter what we do, the people there might not agree with everything we do here, but we're supposed to stand up for one another when it comes to the oppression that we all face. And that comes with a whole lot of different decisions and a whole lot of different work, but you got to do the best that you can do, because somebody free, you're not free until everyone's free. You know what I'm saying?
I love all of that. I honestly wish this was a fucking 4-hour conversation, because then I could just keep asking you all kinds of questions, because this is why I wanted to have y'all on. Like, I really appreciate how candid you are, how honest you are. Y'all are genuine. You know your shit, all of that. I think to speak to what you're saying, you know, we have to be educated first. We have to understand the issues and the plight of our global family and all those things before we speak out, or at least we should, because then, like, you know, I think it's a Malcolm X quote, you know, people in power or the media could have you cheering for people oppressing others and hating on the people who are victims of oppression. I'm ad-libbing his sentiment, but
I know what you're talking about, for sure.
Being informed is I think where it starts. With y'all doing, have you seen any negative in this approach? You know what? God damn it.
We already missed the Q&A.
I missed the kill. Oh, shit. Okay, let's do this because I know I'm so sorry for this segue. Yo, y'all, I'm
You
gonna
have to
for
come
the
back,
audience,
please.
please come back because we're gonna get this and we're gonna plead for King and Jasmine to come back too because like friend in your head type of thing. They're friends in our head, like big fans of these two. But I feel like we weren't able to get all the questions in we wanted to, and we're big fans of y'all folks. But we really want to I got a hard segue. I want to bring Leslie Camacho on, and I know we got some quick comments, but I want to bring Leslie in to do his recap and integrated insights, and then I want to just do quick response to Jennifer Fobbs and Aisha Abdulatif. But let's go to hear what our friend Leslie's got to say.
So this is really challenging to try to pull such a fantastic conversation into something that summarizes it all. But I'll give it a shot here. Also, I want to give props to Laura, who you all can't see, who's my partner in life and business here. We've been sharing notes together here. So first thing that comes to mind is I'm still very much an outsider to the pleasure space in business, but what just is so obvious every time I get to be part of these conversations, and it's such an honor to be part of these conversations, is how normal it sounds, how so many of quote traditional values took place throughout this entire conversation, except we live them differently. And that's where the conflict comes in, because we could take this whole thing about core values and the work about we don't do work that crosses lines with my family or health, all this sort of stuff. And if you owned some sort of coffee shop bookstore thing, no one would care, right? That would be a normal thing here. So what draws out of that is something that Laura pointed out here, is that being sex positive, destigmatizing pleasure, that is the work of liberation. And I want to make sure I get what she said right, where being sex positive and pleasure positive, it is anti-capitalism in so many ways. Like King, I love how you said, selling out requires buying in. That gave me goosebumps, man. So powerful there. And setting this whole context, there's a direct line in the work that you all do that is so critical to liberation, that I felt like that's worth calling out, because living your values, building your brand on honesty from an entrepreneur perspective, that's something I hit on with clients all the time. You got to live those values, or you might get the business that you want, but you won't have the life you want. You won't find that joy. You won't find that freedom. You won't have that ability to impact others. So I love how you are both so vulnerable, open, and honest there, because it is really inspiring. I love that you will have sex negative thoughts and how you address that in the conversation. I think the other thing that really came out here too is that when you are engaged in sex positive education and entertainment, one of the things about sex is that it exposes hypocrisy in society and in us as individuals. And that really is a lightning rod for people. And so I just thank you for being engaged in that work, because at an individual level, we can change, and we can engage with you all, and we can engage with FlyDuo, and we can change that hypocrisy in ourselves first. It has to start internally. And then, like your very wise grandma said, if the work you're doing is for your people, that's all that matters at the end of the day, for your community, that gave me goosebumps too in there. So that is the big thing, is you got to be so authentic with those values, and you've been true for decades around that. And kind of my closing thought at that is, Jasmine, I love how you put, at the end of the day, what was the quote? I wrote it down. Oh no, now I lost it in all my notes. You said, I can go to bed and look at you, and that'll get us through a lot, because we're rich in terms of trust, and I can trust your value set. Like, and in the work we do, if our work doesn't allow us to have that such personal, intimate trust at the end of the day, what the fuck are we even doing? Right? So just thank you for bringing that out in the open in this conversation here today. Like that, at the end of the day, that's what I want. I want that for myself, for my partner, for my clients. Being able to do that is so powerful. That's what I got.
Thank you. I want that for you too, Laura.
Leslie, you have been incredibly helpful with us and helping us navigate doing exactly that, and I can't thank you enough. If there's anybody who is willing to support a client in a direction that they may not necessarily be familiar with, or maybe something that they're not always 100% comfortable with, but we've built up enough trust. Leslie trusts us, we trust Leslie. He's been, riding with us right along the way as we navigate all this. I can't thank you enough. Jennifer Fobbs wanted to tell y'all that she saw you perform live at Sex Down South 2023, and it was a whole ass vibe. And Aisha just wanted to thank us for spotlighting the Palestinian people, and the quote, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." Absolutely. God, this was really dope. Can you, before we wrap up, because we literally hit time. I mean, that's why I guess there's TJT, typical Johnson time. So, can you tell us where we can find you, Leslie? And then I'm going to ask the same question to King and Jasmine as well.
I'm just at lesliecamacho.com, or you can search for me on LinkedIn. Pretty easy to find there. I don't do social media almost at all. I'm terrible at it. So LinkedIn and my website. I love working with people. So that's where you can find me.
Thank you so much. What do you have coming up, King and Jasmine? Before you tell us your socials and websites and all that good stuff, what do y'all have coming up that people can support, get involved in, get to know you better, all that good stuff?
So, how she said we come up with these ideas. We did a royal fetish content retreat with some amazing performers and also a first-time performer with Gushy, Sir Dion, and Fuego Martinez. Of course, shout out to the production manager, Glittosaurus Rex, and Max on the camera. And we have our first scene from that coming out. It's called I want to call it Black Love in the Elevator, but you have a very poignant, poetic title.
Ascent to Ecstasy.
Yes.
So dope. Okay.
Yeah, see? Nah, I feel you.
I like that. Ascent. I like that.
So when you hear the two together, you understand that we were having an orgy in an elevator.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so the thing I love about working with Jasmine, and I won't take up too much of the time, I just won't say
no, take up as much time as you need. We're good.
Yeah, we're enjoying this. So yeah.
Leslie, get these quotes down.
When one of us has an idea, well, even if we might not initially catch it, we're like, okay, let me think. Okay, that's what we could, you know what I'm saying? So we had a location that had an elevator in it. And I was like, I want to shoot a scene in an elevator. And I wanted to kind of cut between all these different things happening. And then Jazz is like, okay. And we got to be wearing this. We got to have this product placement. We got to do this. We got to, you know what I'm saying? Like the way that both of our minds work and when they come together. And both of us feel that this is one of our like illest scenes that we have ever done. And then, the edits, I put together the edits and go into what we had said earlier about the work of the edit that y'all had in the beginning.
No notes.
Yeah, it was some no notes shit. And I was like, And then, so it's like, we're dropping that this Fetish Friday. So make sure that you go on to all of our sites and see that. We're also doing signups for 2025 Kink in Costa Rica. So make sure that y'all get involved and on that.
Sherri and Reuben.
ASAP.
Y'all putting us on blast.
Leslie and Laura need to be vetted a little bit more. We'll let Reuben and Sherri do that.
Fair and accurate.
Leslie's family, though. Leslie's family. Leslie and Laura's family.
I don't know if you want to bring family on this trip.
But
Yo.
definitely sign yourselves up to royalfetishxxx.com. We drop scenes all month long. Beautiful photos. You can message us directly for all kinds of sexting and information and all that good stuff on there.
King is being very, very kind. I'm going to say this is definitely one of the best scenes that we have dropped in, I'm going to go ahead and say the last 5 years.
Oh, shit.
The best. I feel that. I feel that because I feel like everything that we talked about, everybody that was there on set feels that shit. So I feel like the spirit of Royal Fetish Films is encapsulated in each of the talent, and we got to spend an amazing amount of time so that chemistry comes across.
Yeah, so it's like the first part
of
a series that we're gonna be dropping over the course of the next,
love series.
Basically like 2 months. Yeah, it's like
of Black excellence, like you said. The other thing I wanted to mention, this is really important, especially for this SexTech brand and the people that are watching, is when you say like tell them where we can find you. I get so much anxiety. This is for y'all because we get deplatformed constantly.
Oh, word.
Constantly.
Okay.
So when we say like, oh, at Jet Setting Jasmine on tomorrow, I may be gone. My storefront may be gone. So Google us because they can't take that away. We're all over the internet. You can and make your way. We are going as independent as one can go in the sex work industry. So you can find us on our sites, KingNoireXXX.com, RoyalFetishXXX.com, and Jet Setting Jasmine XXX.com. And you tell me one sex industry or one production company that you know that is divesting from people who don't care about the sex life, the liberation, and the passion for joy, the passion for all things that are that I feel like are our human rights. We're divesting from those companies and we're betting on ourselves. So please bet with us. Put your money on Royal Fetish Films. And if you can't, like the intangible support of just sharing with others. We saw a sexy couple talking about sex and liberation and porn and politics and family, and it resonated with us. Share it. Normalize sharing porn and sex liberated and sex positive things outside of just your friend group. Let's normalize it.
Put your money where your mouth is and where you want to put your mouth.
Oh my God. Yo, yes, all of that.
Put me on that, because somebody gonna try to steal that shit by
let's not forget to stream y'all Royal Fetish Radio on YouTube.
And all the music that you can find.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. That's what I was gonna say. Yo, you're on Tidal because I stream you on Tidal. You're on our playlist. But
Feature's a favorite of mine.
yeah, word. And I didn't get to the other questions I had asked about that stuff, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, like stream. Yeah, okay, please do. Catch King Noire on YouTube as well. Watch his videos and all that good stuff there. We have gone overtime. I apologize, everybody. But thank you for riding with us. You can reach Sherri and I on. You want to give them the handles?
SexTechandChill.com, FlyMediaProductions.com, and at SexTechandChill on the socials.
Yep. So hit us up
and XOFlyDuo.com for all things us.
Yeah. So there you go, y'all. Like this was a dope show. King, Jasmine, Leslie, y'all hang out for a second while we kill this stream real quick. You mind killing the stream on IJ? Oh,
Thanks, everybody.
Peace, y'all. Appreciate you. Boom, boom, boom. All that good shit.